everyone, this is 37 Rust Dog back again with another Transformers review, and this time this is over my modified Transformers G1 Swindle, which is also a part of the Combaticons. Well, here's how I basically obtained this guy. Technically, I have no idea how I obtained him, to be honest with you. All I know is that he ended up in some kind of a packet, and this was like 9 years ago. No, actually, I take it back. This was a long time ago. I've had him for like 15 years. As you can see, he's green with that little faded yellowish green in the front. And I'm going to take his gun out. See, you can see all that colors right here. Now, I know he came with this big, humongous gun. But I went ahead and modified it with the missiles, and I will explain why. After toying with him, I figured he'd look a lot better with the missile rack. So I went ahead and tinkered around and discovered that I had some extra pieces left over, including pieces from my combiner war, not the combiner wars, but the power core combiners. So I went ahead and took the missile rack off the black Jeep and put it with Swindle to make him look more, well, custom / modernized. So here you go. Yep. I grew up with the 80s figure line when they had Wheeljack and all the classics. And a lot of it was all die-cast. Of course, you hardly see die-cast figures nowadays because they're all plastic. And if you try to repaint them just right, the color scheme never matches. But that's besides the point. But anyway, I've been holding on since I've had this figure for quite a while. The only like I said, the only modification I did was right here on this rocket pack. Since I lost his gun, actually I didn't lose his gun. His gun is with another figure that I'm using, and I went ahead and remodified that one. But anyway, back to the Swindle. The transforming, all the G1 figures are real easy to transform, except for, I'm going to go ahead and say possibly Jazz, Hound, and Wheeljack, because they're usually the real pain in the neck ones to transform. But to transform him, this is the way I do this one, because since I customized him and modified him a little bit, turn his rocket launchers around, pull out the legs, flip the legs like that. Now, a lot of them, they always flip this forward. I don't recommend it. I recommend flipping it back. Take the front, pull it all the way around, drop it right here, and then you turn the rockets this way. When you do, it's going to shove it out a little bit, but then you just do that, stand them up, pull out the arms, the head's already out. Awesome head sculpt, by the way, for the G1 figures. And you take his little pistol, even though I got this from one of the RID 2000 figure line, and went ahead and put it with him to make it look awesome. So there you go. And there's Swindle. Now, yes, I did some touch-ups on his front because I actually took off the stickers because the stickers were crappy and gave him a metal front. But other than that, the only articulation he has is pretty much up, down, push him in. That's it. Legs, you can probably, if you do something like that, it ain't gonna. That's pretty much all the Pretty much, there's no articulation in this figure whatsoever. Now, if I had the rest of the group, like Onslaught and Blast Off, Vortex, and hold on, let's see, Onslaught, Swindle, Blast Off, Vortex, and Brawl, I would have had the whole entire Combaticons. Now, you can also do this when he plugs into the foot, or actually not the foot, but the hand, if you want to use him as a hand, which looks kind of ridiculous if he was an arm. But I prefer recommending him. If I was going to have him as a foot, do that. Take those weapons, pop them off, flip the arms in, scoot them in, and watch everything fall off. And kind of raise that up just a little bit. Now you can see the spikes here at the bottom. Well, that's when you... Now I've seen different ways of how they did this, but you can scoot him down, put his feet right here on these little peg holes, and there's your foot. Now, if you're going to do him use him as an arm, which looks really retarded. I hate using that word retarded because it's a ugly word. Pull out his legs, flip this around, but there's his arm. I gotta line it up just right. There's his arm. Now, see, you can either use him as an arm like this on Bruticus, or you could flip him around and use him like this. But like I said, he looks a whole lot better if he's a foot. And all you do is pretty much, you can do his feet either way, like that. Bring the head up, pop it down, boom, there's a foot. Or if you want to get really creative, turn him like this. Turn the missile pack up. Drop everything down like that. His foot is gonna probably come out about right here. That will give him some articulation in the knees, like that right there, so you can be able to walk. But this is the only figure I have out of the G1 combiners. I like to get the whole entire set, to tell you the truth, but they're hard to find, and the only place to find them that I know that has them is on eBay. But I don't really know at this time. I know they have some of the Combaticons left on eBay, but like the knockoffs, I've seen the knockoffs and they're smaller than this. And when you combine them, they're pretty much the same set, almost a little bit taller than a Voyager class, pretty much. But anyway, here's Swindle, and in my stop motion project called Crossworlds, yes, I'm going to go ahead and put him in it because of the fact that he's the last survivor of the Combaticons. Because in the stop motion project that I'm working on, all the Combaticons get blasted, gets destroyed by Galvatron, except for Swindle. Somehow Swindle weasels his way out of it and hides out and waits till everybody else is completely destroyed. And then he surfaces up like, hey, what happened here? But other than that, this is 37. Though, other than that, as I was going to say before I started continuing, this is Swindle in a nutshell. Now, before we do anything, I'm going to get a close-up on his face, because his head sculpt is pretty cool looking for a G1. I can focus. Focus. It doesn't want to focus. But we can see that he has a cool head sculpt. But anyway, now I know they came out with, let's see here, they came out with the G1 Swindle, Transformers Animated Swindle, Transformers Armada Swindle, which was the little race car that was attached to Starscream. Then they came out with, oh, let's see here, supposedly, if I remember correctly, the Universe line of Swindle, which that did not go too well. Then they came out with a War for Cybertron Swindle. And then now they came out with the Combiner War Swindle. Looks really awesome, like another modified sculpt of Rook from the Protectobots. But anyway, transform him back into his vehicle mode. It's real easy. You just gotta flip his over like that. Bring his arms in, bring his arms in. Squeeze together, and it locks it in. Flip his legs around. Pop it up. Lift that up. Boom. There you go. And there's Swindle in a nutshell. Now, what I really want to do with the front of his headlights is paint them yellow. But I don't want to mess everything up because of the fact, or at least paint them gold. But I don't want to mess up the G1 color scheme. And yes, he does have a Decepticon symbol right here. Cool looking, huh? But anyway, this is it in a nutshell. And this is 37 Rust Dog signing off. Okay, it's 37 Rust Dog back again. And this time I did touch it up. If I can kind of... I don't know why this does not want me to zoom in, but apparently I'm trying to get it where you can actually see the color. But I did. Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in. Kind of hover it over a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you could barely see the yellow. There you go, you can see it at this angle. And at this angle right here. Barely. But yeah, there you go. You can see it now. There's a good shot of it. I went ahead and just now touched it up. But other than that, it looks better. And this is 37 Rust Dog finally signing off.